I know and realize that by making this opinion, I am poking the hornet's nest. But here we go. Hey X-Men fans, I am John of Video Games in the World, and today I want to share an opinion which was coming since the announcement of new Marvel shows on Disney Plus coming this 2022. We see that She-Hulk is coming with Tatiana Maslany of Orphan Black fame playing the character, which is a great idea. So Tatiana, good luck to you, and I pray you succeed since I loved you in Orphan Black. We also see new shows coming such as Miss Marvel, Ironheart, What If Season 2, yay! I Am Groot, Spider-Man Freshman Year, etc. But what truly caught my attention was that X-Men 97 was announced, and it's a revival of the original X-Men cartoon of the 1990s. Yes! Yes! And the same drawing styles, yay! Woo! Okay. When I was a child, growing up, the X-Men cartoon was one of the greatest things I ever saw. I really loved that cartoon, and one of my cousins who co-owns a blog on Tumblr, he got me into that stuff, into the X-Men cartoon. Not only that, but there were also cartoons in the 1990s that I loved aside from X-Men, such as Spider-Man, Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, the Batman-Superman Adventures, Batman Beyond. Whew! Those were great times, man. Great times. Now, if you like X-Men Evolution, I don't like you at all. Just kidding, I thought it was cool too. I'm just kidding with you. But the 1990s cartoon was so freaking phenomenal with so many awesome story arcs. My personal favorites were the Phoenix Saga and the Dark Phoenix Saga. Now, the Dark Phoenix art in the 1990s cartoon is way better than that crappy movie, since it was pure cringe. Check it out.
It's funny. I can't actually remember the last time you were the one risking something. And by the way, the women are always saving the men around here. You might want to think about changing the name to X-Women.
Like I said, pure cringe. The cartoon was closer to the source material than that of the movie. Now, I saw a video of Nerdette's Newstand responding to the people who say that X-Men 97 was going to be woke and SJW propaganda. Now, I told you that I left that circle a year ago, and I will tell my story of how I got in, then got out of that circle if certain things let me have the time to tell my story. I left her video, and she made valid points. Lots of them. But now, this is my opinion about people who think that X-Men 97 will be SJW propaganda and woke. The question is, what do you think exactly was what X-Men was all about? I'll tell you now. X-Men was about civil rights, and it still is up until this day. When Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created X-Men in the 1960s, civil rights was the main inspiration behind a comic book series which became a cultural phenomenon all over the world. The first issue was released at the height of the civil rights movement that September, not long after the March on Washington happened in Washington, D.C., and Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his famed "I Have a Dream" speech. For over 50 long years, the X-Men comics and movies have connected fans over its overt commentary about the division of two people, the mutants and everyone else. As one X-Men writer, Chris Claremont, said back in 1982, the X-Men are hated, feared, and despised collectively by humanity for no other reason that they are mutants. So what we have here, intended or not, is a book that is about racism, bigotry, and prejudice. There. X-Men is not suddenly left-wing like many who cry woke and SJW propaganda think. It always was left-wing. Not happy about that? Get the hell over it. And you don't have to read the comics if you don't want to. I also remember how an X-Men story 9 years ago took a stand in supporting same-sex marriage with astonishing X-Men, Northstar. In that story, Northstar of the Alpha Flight team, the Canadian version of the Avengers, marries his longtime boyfriend, Kyle Jinadu. I have always said, when I talk about such things, that I was not a supporter of same-sex marriage. That day of my argument with that lesbian coworker, it made me look in the mirror and take great shame of my words. After some time, my views changed from not supporting to pro same-sex marriage because I know people that are LGBTQ, so I must allow them to be happy always. He who is without sin, let him cast the first stone. That's the gist of it, isn't it? Okay. So, the story of X-Men is about mutants. Mutants are superpowered humans born with the X gene trying to survive in a world where ordinary humans fear and hate them because of their powers. Charles Xavier, aka Professor X, runs a school for gifted youngsters in Westchester, New York. In that school, he and a few other mutants who were his first students teach various young children whose powers started to kick in on how to control their powers. His dream is that someday, humans and mutants will live together in harmony. Meanwhile, an old friend of Professor X, Eric Magnus Lensher, who is a very powerful mutant named Magneto, believes that mutants are the future and humans should bow down to them. He hates humanity due to their treatment of mutants and how they want to exploit mutants and not just hate them. Aside from the X-Men fighting against the Brotherhood of Mutants to protect humans, they also fought against time-traveling enemies, alien invaders, and Masters of Evil. We have seen them team up with other heroes such as Spider-Man, Deadpool, the Avengers, Alpha Flight, etc. Well-known human enemies of the X-Men are the hate group called the Friends of Humanity that was led by Graydon Creed, the son of mutant Sabretooth and Mystique. But the group abandoned Graydon Creed when they discovered his true birthright. He was born a normal human and is the son of two mutants. When Mystique put him for adoption and he discovered the truth about his birth, he resented and hated them because of that. Sad, isn't it? So, the Friends of Humanity are an anti-mutant hate group that was formed by people that felt betrayed by Senator Kelly. Because when Senator Kelly was saved by the X-Men, his views changed from an anti-mutant to pro-mutant civil rights. It's like politicians that at one point were not supportive of civil rights, but then changed their views to pro-civil rights for blacks, Latinos, Asians, LGBTQ, etc. Because they realized that at the end of the day, blacks, Latinos, Asians, and LGBTQ are human beings. We all bleed red. Capiche? And people like the Friends of Humanity are exactly like the alt-right. No doubt about that. For a long time, many believed that Professor X was based on Martin Luther King Jr. and Magneto was based on Malcolm X due to certain similarities, but it was confirmed that they were not. Professor X and Magneto were actually based on Jewish leaders David Ben-Gurion and Menachem Begin. Stan Lee explained to The Guardian the conception of X-Men like this. I couldn't have everybody bitten by a radioactive spider or sat with gamma rays, and it occurred to me that if I just said that they were mutants, it would make it easy. Then it occurred to me that instead of them being just heroes that everybody admired, what if I made other people fear and suspect and actually hate them because they were different. I love that idea. It not only made them different, but it was a good metaphor for what was happening with the civil rights movement in the country at that time. Stan Lee was a civil rights advocate during the time where America was divided due to racism and bigotry, which were the norm because of anti-human laws like Jim Crow. And he said that racism and bigotry are two of the biggest social ills in this world. If you didn't get that, you didn't get Stan Lee. Marvel and DC Comics entertained us with so many epic stories in comics over the years that all these awesome superheroes were created, but they always took a political standing that was left-wing. Marvel and DC are not suddenly left-wing. They always were. If it bothers you so much that you think is woke and SJW propaganda, don't read them. Simple as that. Because you didn't get them. X-Men was about civil rights. If you didn't get that, you didn't get X-Men. Black Panther was also about civil rights. If you didn't get that, you didn't get Black Panther. Black Lightning was about social justice and civil rights. If you didn't get that, you didn't get Black Lightning. Wonder Woman was about gender equality. If you didn't get that, you didn't get Wonder Woman. Superman and Supergirl are immigrants from another planet, and they defended their adopted home planet, Earth. Sure, some people didn't love them because they were from another world. If you read the comic Superman Fights the Klan, you'll get it. Superman and Supergirl are both pro-acceptance, pro-immigration, and pro-equality. If you didn't get that, you didn't get Superman and Supergirl. Deadpool is pansexual and queer. If you didn't get that, you didn't get Deadpool. Captain America fought the Nazis and he would totally be fighting the alt-right. If you didn't get that, you didn't get Captain America. Like I said, comics are not suddenly left-wing. They always were. I'm truly poking the hornet's nest with this, and there will be a lot of heat. But I said what I said. I'm going to see For myself, I'm going to see X-Men 97 if it turns out to be as epic and kick-ass as the 1990s cartoon, or shall it fail? And that's something I will decide for myself. Not watching reviews from the mainstream media or the Get Woke or Broke reviews. Because insulting people, whether they liked it or not, is just plain asinine and stupid on both sides, of course. And that's all I have to say. I'm John of Video Games in the World. Peace.